Hey everybody, welcome to the weekend.
Welcome.
This is another episode of A Blind Guy,
His wife,
Their Life Live. And on this channel, we change the narrative of normal by shifting the focus from people being disabled to being differently able by sharing people that we've interacted with over the course of our lives. And today is nothing short of what has been a fabulous 30 minutes of introducing you to some of the fabulous people from our life. And we're going to have a great time with you. If you can interact with us in the comments, and we're going to enjoy some very special guests today. Today, we're going to start with the word on the street with some family members. It's the holiday season, so we have family members here. My cousins from North Carolina, Trevon and Shakaya.
I always call them they're by their nicknames, and then I always forget their real. You know how with family members, You're like, wait a minute, who are you? Who are you? And so, I'm glad you said their real names. We know them now.
Yeah, we have Trevon. We affectionately call him Boogie.
And I call him Buddy, but it's,
Buddy is the dad.
I know, that's where I just mix up the whole family.
And then we have Shakaya. We call her affectionately Biddy. So Trevon and Shakaya, brother and sister duo, are going to join us today. We also are going to take to the skies, and we're going to travel back in time with Howard Baugh to visit the Tuskegee Airmen. Mr. Howard Baugh is a pilot himself, a retired pilot himself, but he is the son of a fighting Tuskegee Airman who flew 153 missions in World War II.
Speaking of Mr. Howard Baugh, Corey, I'm going to bring him in just to wave and say hello so that they know we have the real son of a Tuskegee Airman. So Howard Baugh, just give us a wave.
As you can see,
thanks for having me.
As you can see, he's sporting his red coat, which is this.
I gave him a sneak peek,
Which is the symbol of everybody's heard of the movie Red Tails. That was a nickname for the Tuskegee Airmen. And he's wearing his red coat in honor of the Tuskegee Airmen. So we're excited to hear from him. We'll also have a plant-based treat. And LaQuita Marie, you're going to be reading the comments as we go.
Well, of course, because you can't see them. And since you can't see, and so
right.
So I'll be reading the comments for you, so that way you can interact with our guests, and it also, just helps us to have a great time, have a lot of fun, because we've got comments rolling in already. We have Philip Aldo Jr. saying, "Good morning, all."
Good morning, Philip. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning to you. And we have Atum Pond, the Talking Drums Edutainment, saying, "Aquaba family up and ready for the live today." Okay.
Aquaba and Tree, which is from one of the languages spoken in Ghana, means welcome. So Aquaba to all of our viewers.
Yes, Aquaba means welcome. That's from one of the languages in Ghana. We're heading out to Ghana, guys. So then we also have Shine Bright, who has brought the sun.
Shine Bright has brought the sunshine into our lives this morning. Thanks for joining us this morning.
She says, "Grand rising, everyone." Habaragani.
Habaragani today is Nia.
Kwanzaa season. Nia, purpose. All right. So let's see what else we have here. Atum Kwan says, Jima. So we have all of our Kwanzaa principles coming through, and listen to Global Green Book. Habaragani.
Habaragani.
Ujima. That's what our Atum Kwan, the Talking Drums Edutainment, they're shining through. Everybody's chatting it up, just saying hello and good morning. Well, Corey, let's bring in our guests for the day. I think they have a word of the day for us.
Right, today we're going to have our special guest coming out. Our first of our special guests of my cousins and a brother and sister tandem, Trevon and Shakaya. So it's time for today's Word on the Street with Shakaya and Trevon.
Good morning. How are you guys today?
Good.
All right, so you guys have the word on the street for us today, Trevon and Shakaya. What is our word on the street?
Nia. It is a Swahili word.
And Nia is Nia. You said Nia is it's a Swahili word, and it's a principle of Kwanzaa. We've already been shouting out a lot of the Kwanzaa principles, because from the day after Christmas to January 1st, we just go over these 7 principles to remind ourselves of, ways to live, sort of like a New Year's resolution. And for the most part, we practice these purposes or principles all year long. So tell us, what does Nia mean?
Nia means to commit ourselves to the glorious duty of restoring our families, our neighborhoods, and our people to historical greatness.
So basically, it means having a purpose of improving the community around you and building your community up with positivity. You guys, I've talked to you. You guys have some pretty interesting career paths that you guys want to take to make the world a better place. So Trevon, since you're the oldest, we're going to start with you. What are your plans to make the world a better place?
I plan to become a dermatologist and help people with their quality of life and their skin.
Oh, okay, a dermatology, helping with quality of life, and that's true because I know me when I was a teenager, I had acne, and I wish I had a dermatologist in the family, and so that would have been great to have you if you were older than me, and it does help because when you actually look better, you feel better.
Absolutely, and speaking of looking better and feel better, our kids, your cousins, are saying, "Hey, cousins." And then we also have Zenobia Ridley saying greetings to our youngest guest. Our young guest. Yes, Supernovia, she's there. And then we also have our kids on our other account saying, hey, cousins. So yes, the family is shouting you out. Well, speaking of purpose and Nia and the principal, the Kwanzaa principle, what about you, Shakaya? What's your purpose? What's your goal?
I want to become an organic biotechnician.
Oh, that's a big word. Explain it to us. Like, what does that mean for those of us that aren't familiar with it?
You alter plant genes to help them be able to fight pests and viruses, which could also help end world hunger.
So dealing with plants, altering the genes so that they can naturally ward off pests and things like that. So this way the food stays strong and
you don't have to add chemicals to it.
Right. And we can get the nutrients from it naturally. Okay.
And that goes right into our DNA as a family, Shakaya, because we have family that worked in agriculture down there in North Carolina, and whether it was actually working with a farm with crops or with raising animals. So you're just carrying on the tradition. So you guys are a superhero tandem. You got Dr. Derm and Super Farmer. So that'll be a new Marvel comic series coming out pretty soon, hopefully.
Yes. We also have my mama in the house. She's saying good day to everyone. So she's welcoming you guys as well. Good day to everyone. That's from Mama C. And Zenobia also told you, Corey, wow, to my favorite family. I'm looking forward to our special guest. So you guys are the young guest, and Mr. Howard Baugh is the special guest. Have you guys, now Howard Baugh, he's our guest. And, by the way, Corey, Nubian S also says, good morning, family.
Nubian S, good morning to you too.
Good morning. So have you guys flown before? Because Howard Baugh, our special guest, was a pilot, and his father was also a pilot.
Right.
Have you guys, do you guys have pilots in your family, or have you flown in an airplane?
No. I'm scared, really.
I'm staying on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, stay on the ground. Well, you know what? What we will do is hopefully you'll stick around for the rest of the program. You can always watch it on another device. I'm sure Mr. Baugh will tell us, how safe it is. I mean, after all, his dad, as a Tuskegee Airman, he made it, all the way into older age. Mr. Baugh is still here. And they both have flown lots of airplanes. And so, guys, we hope you enjoy it. But this has been fun.
Thank you for coming on today, Trevon and Shakaya. So we're going to put you guys backstage, and hopefully you can hang out for a while as we prepare to bring on our special guest today.
Thank you, guys. See you next time.
All right.
All right. That was fun.
Yeah, it's always good to have family members come in, especially around this holiday season.
Yes.
Now, today we have a very special guest, and I'll tell you a quick story that relates to what he's going to talk about. When I was 17 years old, I had the privilege of going to the Tuskeegee Airman Museum in Delaware. And when we got there, this gentleman, he was a European white gentleman who was given the tour, and he actually told this story. He said, when I was flying bomber planes in World War II, I went up every time I went up into the sky. I went up with the Tuskegee Airmen as my escort. He said I saw some of them go down, but they never ever let me go down. And that's why I'm here to tell the story today. He was bald, and I was bald, and so it was a very emotional story that he told. But when I met Mr. Howard, our special guest, Mr. Howard Baugh today, he told his story. I always think of that story and just imagine Lieutenant Colonel Howard L. Baugh was possibly one of those pilots that helped that gentleman get home safely. So today we want to bring in today's special guest. He's a fly guy himself, and not just because he looks good. He's a retired pilot and son of a Tuskegee Airman, Mr. Howard Baugh.
Good morning, all. So nice to be here.
Good morning.
So nice to have you.
I am the president of the Howard Baugh chapter, Tuskegee Airmen Incorporated, based in Petersburg, named after my father, who was an original Tuskegee Airman. He was born in Petersburg in 1920, and we lost him in 2008 at the age of 88.
Wow.
He grew up in Petersburg, went to segregated schools, graduated from Virginia State University, what it is now, but he graduated in 1941. At that time, it was called Virginia State College for Negroes.
I didn't know that.
Always wanted to fly, was always told he could not because of the color of his skin. The first time he was ever in an airplane, he was in the cockpit at the controls. Your dreams are valid. Act on them, or otherwise they just stay dreams. I was fortunate enough to follow in his footsteps. When I was 17 years old, I graduated from high school, a segregated high school in Nashville, Tennessee. I had no clue of what I wanted to do as a career. I thought I wanted to be a dentist because my dentist had a Corvette, and I wanted a Corvette. So I figured if I'd be a dentist, I could have a Corvette. When I was 19 years old, I was fortunate enough to get a ride in the backseat of a T-33 single-engine, two-place jet trainer. My father was flying it.
So you weren't scared because your father was flying?
Absolutely. Yeah, he was the commander of the ROTC detachment at Tennessee State University. And I was a cadet at the time, so it was legal and proper. So I got to ride in the backseat of that T-33. He wrung me out. I actually got sick, but it changed my life. The two most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you figure out why. I'm so glad that I found aviation. I changed my major on the following Monday, and after graduation, my father commissioned me as a second lieutenant, and I went into the Air Force at Williams Air Force Base in Arizona, where I went through pilot training. When I graduated pilot training, he pinned his wings on me.
Wow.
And
An honor.
I have them in the trophy case here in my house.
Right.
I flew in the Air Force for 5.5 years, flying KC-135. We did the air-to-air refueling. I was one of the first pilots to get on with Eastern Airlines. And when Eastern Airlines went out of business, at age 45, I was fortunate enough to get on with United Airlines.
So wait, you were flying with Eastern Airlines all the way up until you were 45, or did you have other airline experience in between, or military experience, or, how did that progression work? Oh, and by the way, wait a minute, I have to do this properly because everyone is welcoming you, just so that you know. Shine Bright says, welcome, Mr. Howard. And even for our young guests, Shakaya and Trevon, Philip Waldo said, great career paths, Trevon and Shakaya. Chime Bright is clapping for you. Our children are saying, welcome, Zenobia Ridley, greetings to our special guest. These people are applauding you. They love you. Welcome, Mr. Baugh. They've got the airplanes, Corey, on the pictures. Honeycomb 368, so glad to have you. She says, peace and blessings, family. So glad I caught alive. We're so glad you did as well. She has a great smile, Corey, just so you know. And then finally, our children are saying that is cool. So I see you're about to lift something up. I was asking you about with the airlines, when you were 45, but then I saw you were also about to show us something. So go on.
Yeah, I flew in the Air Force for 5.5 years. I flew these airplanes. We
can see them
straight here, but these are military airplanes here. The job that I did in the Air Force was flying this tanker, and we did the air-to-air refueling. This is an F-16 that comes up behind our airplane, and we offload fuel into that airplane, so they don't have to land and pull into a gas station to fill up. They can continue on with their mission.
So you refuel in the air?
Yes,
oh.
air refueling. I did 2 tours during Vietnam, flying out of Utapao and Tak Lee air bases in Thailand. I had an opportunity my dad did not have. He tried to get on with the airlines in 1958 and 59. They would not hire him because of the color of his skin. When I came along, 1971, I got hired by Eastern Airlines, and I flew these airplanes here. This is Eastern. Eastern Airlines went out of business in 1989. I was lucky enough to get on with United and flew these airplanes. I flew airplanes for 42 years. This chart was put together. It looks like it's put together by a 3-year-old. As a matter of fact, it was. My 3-year-old grandson, kindergarten, and that's me in the uniform, and that's him as my co-pilot at age 3. He put this together for a kindergarten project.
That's, you know what, that's the way to do it, because your family is definitely, we value our family members from whatever age they are. We get them involved. We get them started. Our own children are saying, wow, and they have all those W's for it. So, they're just in awe right now. Nubian S is applauding you. Our children are saying that is so cool. And also Philip Waldo Jr. is welcoming you as well. So they are loving your story. They are really intrigued with this. I want to go ahead, Corey.
Now, what I want to do is I want to talk about, because we have some great images. You were actually able to get you guys worked the Howard Baugh chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen. You all got together and you lobbied and championed getting his image cast in bronze. And that statue sits in the Black History Museum in Richmond, Virginia.
And we were there.
We actually had the privilege of attending the unveiling of that statue. So we got some video footage here for that.
So what I'd like to do is show the video, and because there's no sound, you are welcome to talk while the video is playing, because that way it will just kind of give people an idea of what was happening that day, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring it in. It's right here, and go ahead, Corey.
Don't forget to smash that like button, everybody out there that's viewing. Smash the like button, that thumbs up button, and let people know that there is great history going on right here today with Mr. Howard Baugh.
So Novi Ridley says, we are witnessing a living legend through all of the negative adversities. Nothing stopped his father nor his son. She's giving him applause. Praying hands, this is wonderful. People are saying always, thank you. The Star fam, thank you for being here. And so I'll start the video. That way you can just kind of talk us through it or make any commentary that you'd like to make. And our guests are here for you. They are loving it.
And while you're watching, guys, I want you to do something. Go to the website, which is www.hbc.
It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen, actually. And so if you can't see it, hbc-tai.org.
And go check out. And I want you to put in the comment what kind of airplane Lieutenant Colonel Howard L. Baugh flew in World War II.
You know what, Corey? Somebody's telling their age. LaShawna Brooks says, awesome story. 42 years, you have been flying all of my life. LaShawna. Right. So I'm going to start the video. Here we go.
Of course, that's the program you can read. And that's a bio of my dad. That's the entrance. You need to visit the Black History Museum on Lee Street in Richmond. Wealth of information, a wealth of history.
Okay, I'm just pausing a little bit so that way as it moves, if you start talking, I'll just pause it a little bit. Okay. These are images from the museum.
Right.
And the important thing about this bronze casting is that it has your father's image on it. But
wait, that's us, Corey, with Mr. Baugh.
Oh, that's a very nice looking couple.
Indeed. That's the stage we were getting ready to make the presentation, and there's the website address at the top of that poster that I have behind me.
Right.
I only have a few pictures and posters behind me because the majority of my traveling show is at the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Museum that was supposed to have a major display back in March. Then the pandemic came along and closed everything down. But when it opens back up, I encourage everyone to go and see the display there. I'm teamed up with a historian from Tuskegee Airman, a guy named Jerry Telefaro, has quite an impressive show of model airplanes, posters, photographs, ton of information. I'm sure that history buffs will be absolutely ecstatic.
Nice. So I'll start the video. Oh, that's when we were all coming in.
We were coming in, my brother there is in the red coat, and there's that handsome couple again.
Me and you, Corey.
Right.
So we're all waiting to get into the space. Oh, and there was a reception too. So that's the fabulous part. This was a grand event.
And there were actually still Tuskegee Airmen who were still living that were there at that event. So
It's
that
in the
was cool
video.
too.
Yeah, we'll get to that part as well. There you are. Guests are coming in. There was standing room only.
It was quite well attended, fortunately.
Yes.
The
There you
honor guard that opened the presentation from
Yes.
Virginia State University. My brother again in the red jacket.
Yes.
I have two brothers.
Look at the lady. She looks like, oh, she videotaping me. They're
The red jacket people are members of our chapter, the Howard Baugh chapter, based in Petersburg.
nice.
But very well attended. You talk about Black history. Black history is American history.
Yes.
So it's important to everyone, all Americans. The mission statement for our chapter, and we are one of 56 such chapters, is to perpetuate the history, keep the legacy alive of the brave men and women who fought for a double victory, an enemy overseas and a country that was racist and bigoted. So the whole program of the Tuskegee Airmen was thought to fail. It certainly did not. We want to keep that history alive. The second part of the mission statement is to inspire youth. We talk about the STEM program. We call it the STEAM program: science, technology, engineering, aviation, and mathematics. I flew for 42 years.
Oh, aviation.
I didn't consider it going to work. I absolutely loved it. Loved going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of keeping the legacy alive, we want to move ahead and talk about some of. I know our viewers want to hear about some of your father's wartime experiences and like how that came to played out in his life. Let's talk about Lieutenant Colonel Howard L. Baugh as a fighting Tuskegee Airman in World War II.
Oh, so I'll pull up some of the images from this museum. I'll finish with this because right now, Corey, they are unveiling the life-size statue. So Mr. Baugh is there. The statue of his father is taller than him. It's on a small pedestal, but it's right there so that everyone can see that. And the first picture from the museum is of this bronze statue that the museum has on their website. So I'll go ahead and finish up because now we were just, having a great time. There you are, Corey, smiling with me and Denise, and then there's the program again. Mr. Baugh, everyone is having such a great time with you. We have our Shine Bright is saying, such a true testimony of overcoming adversity. I love that you were able to live out your father's dreams. And then, of course, our children. This is literally very, 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 very cool, very cool.
Okay.
We have my thoughts on everything. Hello, good to have you here. My thoughts on everything says, how are you doing? Nice live stream. Thank you. He's in the Netherlands, but moving back to Ghana. We'll see you when we get to Ghana. My thoughts on everything. Corey, this is so amazing that your father encouraged you enough so that you were able to live out his dreams. Just so amazing. That's from Octopon Talking Drums. Black Philip Waldo Jr., Black history equals true history. Yes,
Right.
yes, yes. The Star family says, any and everybody can be inspired by you. And Honeycomb 368 says, wow, this is so beautiful. So I'm going to bring up that museum photo so that we can hear more about, about your father as
a World War II pilot.
Yes.
My dad was fortunate enough to get into the program. The first picture, of course, is the statue that is on display at the Black History Museum in Richmond.
Mm.
The program, the Tuskegee Airman pilot training, was expected to fail. It did not fail. It was such a success that they had a 40% washout or failure rate, where the white bases had a 60% failure rate. And when they found out about that, they insisted that the Tuskegee Airmen fail 70% of the classes. This is a picture of my father's graduating class. My dad is the tall one there with the circle. Of the 20 people who started in his class of 42J, these 4 were the only graduates.
Oh, wow.
The program was set up to wash out most of the pilots, 70% of them, and the cream of the crops are the ones that managed to stay the course and graduate. From the left, Terry Edwards is from Steubenville, Ohio. Next to him is Terry. Oh boy, he's from Texas. And this gentleman here is Melvin T. Jackson from Warrenton, Virginia. Of the 992 pilots who graduated from Tuskegee, 38 were from Virginia. So we were very well represented. This was supposed to be a test, and the test was supposed to fail. Well, the gentleman reading the letter is Colonel Spanky Roberts. Over his shoulder, with the helmet and the goggles on, is my dad. He was one of the 8 pilots shown there. There are a couple that weren't in the picture, but the squadron shot down 13 airplanes in 2 days. This was Spanky Roberts, the colonel, is reading the congratulatory letter from headquarters. So the Tuskegee Airmen obviously passed the test. My dad flew 136 combat missions and was credited with 2 aerial victories. One of them was shared by his wingman, so he actually got 1.5 aerial victories.
Right.
But the Tuskegee Airmen flew 15,553 sorties on 1,578 combat missions. They escorted 179 bomber escort missions, losing only 27 fighters throughout the entire war to enemy fire. Their white counterparts, the other squadrons, had an average loss of 46. They shot down 112 airplanes, destroyed another 150 on the ground, damaged another 148. They destroyed 950 rolling stock, which included 600 rail cars, tanks, distance carrier, troop carrier, supply carriers, 950 rolling stock. They destroyed 40 boats and barges. 2 of the Tuskegee Airmen in P-47s destroyed a German destroyer, and that's the P-47 there, as you see.
Yeah, these are photos from the website, and this is just the Howard Baugh chapter. So like the website that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen, HBC-TAI, this is where you would go to find this information, to contact Mr. Baugh, to book him because, like he said, he tours with this information and presents to continue this legacy.
The last thing I'm going to ask you, Mr. Baugh, is to explain how the airplane Connie relates to your father.
You know, let me go back to that picture so that we can hear about it.
The picture is my dad leaning up against the Connie Jean. I don't know if it's going to come up there.
It's back here towards the beginning.
But it'll come up here.
He's like, I got it right here.
If I can get this, yeah. My dad painted his wife, my mom's name on the side of his P-40 when he first got there. And my dad was a fighter pilot, was a flight instructor, a squadron commander, a teacher, but more than anything, he was a great husband and a great father. He gave all credit to who he was to his wife, my mom. He said he was motivated, but a little rough around the edges, and she refined him. They made quite a team. And I have discovered in my long life that life is a team sport. The better team player you are, the better your life is going to be.
Right.
The Tuskegee Airmen initially,
there it is.
A lot of pushback. They didn't want the program to start because there's the picture. But they didn't want the program to start because they didn't want black officers giving orders to white troops. So the whole thing was set up to fail, but it certainly did not. Fortunately, there were lots of people who did want to see blacks progress and the Tuskegee Airmen become a success. It's amazing what we can accomplish if we all work together.
Yes.
Are you listening? It's amazing what we can accomplish if we all work together. Tuskegee Airmen teach us that anytime anybody achieves success, it proves anybody can achieve success. And whether you think you can and think you can't, you're quite probably correct. Also, ordinary people, regardless of race, color, creed, from all walks of life, if given the training, can achieve great, extraordinary things.
Now, if you book Mr. Howard Baugh for a speaking engagement, he's doing virtual presentations right now, and then hopefully once we get past all of these things with the Rome, he can do a live presentation for you. You hear all sorts of fascinating stories about his father's near misses as far as his plane getting shot. The only thing on Connie Jean that got shot off was an antenna, but there's a lot of fascinating stories about Lieutenant Colonel Howard L. Baugh's adventures in Europe as he flew for the Tuskegee Airmen. It's been a great pleasure having you on, Mr. Baugh. We definitely appreciate your time.
This has been great. Did you have any lasting words, any parting words for our guests? Because
yes, anyone can contact me through the website. And I encourage all to look at and peruse our website. Also, Google Tuskegee Airmen. There's a wealth of information out there. It is very interesting. I'm sure you will enjoy it.
Thank you.
There you go, folks. You heard it from yourself. You didn't even have to watch the movie Red Tails. You can go to the www.hbc-tia.org and get the actual TAI. I'm sorry, TAI.
Tuskegee Airmen
Incorporated.
Okay.
And that's www.hbc-tai.org and learn about all the fabulous history as it relates to Lieutenant Colonel Howard L. Baugh.
Corey, we're going to let him go for now so that, but we definitely wanted to get a thumbs up if he agrees with this message. We have somebody saying he dedicated his plane to his wife. Black power equals black love. If you agree with that message that Corey should dedicate a lot more to me, please give us a thumbs up, Mr. Baugh. We'd appreciate 2 thumbs up. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Mr. Baugh, then
we'll see you soon.
Yeah, we're gonna put you backstage for real now, right?
All right, thank you.
That was a great interview, and today we can't leave you without wetting your taste buds a little bit as LaQuita Marie, Chef LaQuita Marie, presents to you today's plant-based treat.
All right, guys. We've got a super quick plant-based treat, probably something you already eat, but we're trying to get everybody eating more fruits and vegetables. Here we go.
Banging brown rice.
I'm going to get the rice started. I've got a couple of onions and some spinach.
Chop the onions into medium-sized pieces.
Onions are full of antioxidants, including quercetin, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound.
Onions can lower blood sugar and cholesterol and can improve bone density.
Add onions, spinach, 2 cups of rice, and 4 cups of water.
Dark leafy greens like spinach are important for skin, hair, and bone health. They provide protein, iron, vitamins, and minerals.
Cover with the lid, cook for 30 minutes on medium-high. Add 2 teaspoons of seasoning salt.
Serve it up. Let's eat.
Let me know what it's like. Yeah, you need to blow it.
It's so good.
So, do you taste the spinach?
Mm-mm.
Do you taste the onions? Okay.
I was gonna eat plain bowl rice.
Coco, somebody else has to try it.
Yeah, Coco, I haven't tried it yet.
Okay, you try it. I'm putting this with those black eyed peas.
Okay. No.
How is it?
The rice was good, but when you put it with the black eyed peas, it was delicious.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of A Blind Guy,
His wife.
Their Life. Join us every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 11:15 a.m. to 11:45 a.m.
Eastern Standard
Time in the United States. Tomorrow we have another fascinating guest, Dr. Kadisti Yusuf. You're going to actually meet my side chick for 20 years, and LaQuita Marie is okay with it. So y'all come on in and see how that works out for you. And we also are want to encourage you to subscribe, to like these videos, and to share this with other people who can find the information valuable.
We hope you try the rice. What did you think about the rice, Corey?
I thought the rice was banging. It was smack. And I'm not capping.
Ooh, that's what our kids said as
it
well.
It wasn't janky or anything. So, guys, thanks for joining us today on today's episode of The Blind Guy,
His wife,
Their Life Live. And in parting, we say, off we go into the wild blue yonder. Deuces.
Deuces.